What's good, guys? This NBA scandal will break Klutch Sports. So recently, I know Terry Rozier got some gambling thing happen to him. Chauncey Billups as well. Chauncey Billups came in with some Klutch Sports shirt into his court hearing. So I know y'all probably heard about this whole scandal. So let's get right into this video.
That there's nothing more important than the integrity of the competition.
2 hours later.
Rozier's been arrested for his involvement in alleged sports gambling, prop bets.
Well, make no mistake, too, Pat Riley will tell you, hey, you don't like playing in Miami? Game. So they do have the ability to turn it up, but you don't want to play with this crew.
It's on the meter, and the meter's still running, Richard. Anderson with a rebound. Rozier relocates for another try.
That's what I'm gonna be doing every single.
Yo, greed is so crazy, bro. This man got already millions of dollars in his contracts, and they still trying to gamble. And then I understand, a lot of people, NBA players gamble, a lot of people in general gamble, but to this extreme, bro, you're tripping. You make too much money to be trying to gamble your job. This is his job, though. This man is risking his job just for player props. Isn't that crazy? And the job he has pays him millions. There's people that don't even get paid as much and they're not risking that job. And he just doesn't care, bro. He's tripping.
Night.
I'm not sure what situation he got in. I seen it was something with the mafia or whatever. But that's still crazy.
Dollar bills, y'all.
And Billups, ABC News is reporting, is tied to an illegal poker operation tied to the mafia.
Oh, he was with the mafia.
We're appreciative of the amount of thought that you put into it because the integrity of the game is everything.
When it comes to the NBA's biggest...
So Chauncey Billups was with the mafia with the gambling stuff, and now it's coming back. And Terry Rozier is just doing player props just for his friends and him. But why? Why, bro? Just give your friends some bread and keep hooping. You're good enough to stay in the league too, Terry.
This problem in the past decade, really their biggest problem in league history, is load management by a country mile. And looking at load management, you can blame the players, coaches, and even Adam Silver. Every NBA fan can agree load management is a net negative to the entire league. Now, with that being said, when players would load manage, we would be pissed. We thought, these guys are sitting out games on purpose, trying to rest, giving a middle finger to the fans because they really don't care. That's what I've thought for the past 5 years. But after this week, I'm even more cynical, as of course now the FBI indicting NBA players for faking injuries and rigging games for the mafia.
But you gotta play smart basketball. This is winning time. Corner, three. Bank it in! Tangerine bank shot.
Visually you can see this man's mad he hit a shot. Bro, what is the league gotten to? We got players really caring more about betting and player props than hooping, bro. You should be trying to stay in the league. Get in the gym, work in your game, get paid more, advance in your career, but instead you're trying to sell out. Come on, bro.
For someone like Terry Rozier to purposely throw games, it's absolutely despicable. But looking past Terry Rozier, we have someone like Damon Jones, not an active player or even an active coach. As Damon Jones back in 2023 was kind of a personal assistant, a helper for the Lakers on Darvin Ham's staff. And Damon Jones, of course, a former LeBron teammate and LeBron friend. What Damon Jones is accused of is quite simple. He was giving tips to bettors and gamblers, LeBron James, as well as Anthony Davis, not playing or resting certain games. And there's two ways you can look at this. You can say LeBron James, Anthony Davis, they're completely innocent and they're used in this scenario. If you're naive, you'll probably think that. If you're more cynical, you'll think guys like LeBron and Davis, they tipped Damon Jones off, who in turn tipped off more people.
Flashback.
Maverick Carter, according to multiple reports, as part of an ongoing investigation with the Washington Post, admitted to illegally making bets in 2021 on NBA and NFL games.
Wow.
Interesting.
Okay, now the reason why this is notable is because this is now the second time in 2 months that we've seen a member of LeBron's business circle, that's a better way of putting it,
all right,
that's been in the news. You recall back in September, Randy Mims, who's part of his crew, his business manager, was part of the investigation into Tony Bosch, which is the PEDs situation.
I was gonna say something too, bro. There's so many people in his team that's in this situation with the news, but so many people are going to think that he has nothing to do with it, just off of ignorance.
That was
That's right.
involving
that
all
other
those
story.
baseball
Yeah.
players.
Right.
If you ask me, the entire Clutch Sports enterprise, LeBron's inner circle, there's a lot of shady business being done, and there's tons of smoke. And looking at one of LeBron's longtime friends,
One thing my coach used to say, bro, when there's smoke, there's fire.
as those business partners, we have Maverick Carter. This guy just 2 years ago admitted on record he was gambling illegally. And according to reports, it was at least 20 games, NBA, as well as NFL. And here's the added little layer. Not once did he bet on the Lakers. If you believe that, go ahead. Me personally, there's no chance in hell.
The real question is this: was all this legal? Absolutely fucking not.
What you have right here, the entire Clutch Sports crew, is tons of smoke. And where there's smoke, there is fire. First it was Mav Carter, then it was Damon Jones. At some point, it's not a coincidence. And look at someone like Rich Paul. Not just LeBron James' friend, but an agent for numerous players, the head of Clutch Sports, their CEO. Someone like Rich Paul, who's in the know, has connections. He knows when Davis isn't playing and when LeBron's not playing. Like we saw last year, he knows for a fact Anthony Davis is getting traded, no matter how much he may lie about it.
99.9% of the time, I'm gonna know what's going on. The one time I didn't was the one time we all didn't, per se.
Now, when it comes to the idea of LeBron, Anthony Davis, they just never knew what was going on. They were super naive. They were just playing basketball, didn't know what was going on. If you believe that, that's on you. If you don't, you're more cynical, you're like me. And looking at LeBron James, yes, this guy gets hurt here and there, low manages, skips on games routinely. But looking at Anthony Davis, it's far worse. And here's one thing Davis does routinely more than any other NBA player. When he gets bumped, hit, falls to the ground, he's on the ground for minutes. He'll leave games routinely and not come back. And looking at that 2023 season, the same year Damon Jones giving out tips to gamblers, Anthony Davis that year had a couple of suspect games where you kind of wonder, did he take a dive like Terry Rozier? The most notable game, December 6th versus Cleveland. Anthony Davis, this game versus the Cavaliers, coming into the game, he quote-unquote had flu-like symptoms. And the game, play managed 1 point, 0 shot attempts, and played 8 minutes. Anthony Davis, this game after the first quarter, he left, headed to the locker room. And of course, LA down one of their best players. They lost 116 to 102.
The player of the week in the Western Conference. And we don't know for sure, but after this play, Anthony Davis made his way back to the locker room.
Well, Skip, when he checked out at 8 minutes, I thought it was a normal substitution. I was just like, okay, AD's checked out, okay, coming in, boom. I ain't think anything about it. Second quarter started, I didn't see AD in. I was like, okay, maybe he just went to I didn't know until I started looking at the internet, I saw alert, AD's out with flu-like symptoms.
Right. Bro, flu-like symptoms is not a reason not to show up for a game, bro. Somewhat. Because if you really want to hoop, bro, you gonna hoop. You gonna hoop, bro. If you really want to hoop, you gonna hoop.
So that right there is Davis with
Not buying that, bro.
flu-like symptoms, leaving game early.
How many times I was sick, bro, with flu-like symptoms and I hooped just for fun because I was bored? Come on, bro.
With 0 shots taken. Now here's where it gets more interesting. If you want to say Davis that one game had the flu, you believe that? Okay. But look at the prior 2 games, December 2nd and December 4th. Versus the Bucks, Davis, 44 points. Versus the Wizards, 55. So Davis right there very clearly doesn't have the flu, he's not sick. Then comes December 6th, the 1 point dud. Let's say Davis, in that off day, between the 4th and the 5th, he got the flu, he was sick. That would explain the bad game versus the Cavaliers only having 1 point. That would explain the bad game versus the Cavaliers only having 1 point. But looking at their next games that Davis played, December 9th, back to his usual form, 31 points versus Philly in an OT loss. 2 nights later versus the Pistons, dropped 34, and the next game, dropped 37. If someone actually has the flu, they can't play an NBA game, they only play 8 minutes. Then a couple of nights later, scoring 31, 34, and 37 points. That really makes you wonder. If you actually had the flu, were sick, you'd be out maybe 5 to 7 days. Even when you come back, you'd be a shell of yourself. Anthony Davis, he was perfectly fine.
Yeah. Every game after, he was perfect.
They bought it.
If Anthony Davis versus the Cavs that game took a dive, it worked to perfection. As looking at the game's total points, it hit the under with Davis not playing. Looking at the spread, the Cavaliers covered. Could you say it's sheer coincidence Davis, he got really sick for one day, bounced back, from his usual Anthony Davis the next day? I guess so. But looking at all the check marks, him playing great before this game and afterwards, then only playing 8 minutes, taking 0 shots, that seems very, very fishy, and at the least, it's very, very bad optics.
To me, it's the 0 shots, bro, in 8 minutes. I don't see AD on the court and not taking a single shot, bro.
At the worst, he tanked this game for someone like Damon Jones, who's handing out insider tips. Now, looking at someone like Adam Silver, the head of the NBA, the tip of the spear, Adam Silver in all this looks like an absolute dunce and incompetent commissioner. As of course Silver last year, his NBA cleared Terry Rozier of any wrongdoing. Adam Silver clearing Terry Rozier was a classic case of covering your own ass.
And as you probably know, there's a player under investigation for irregularity right now in Malik Beasley. And there's been, I think, frustration from people that Malik Beasley hasn't had it cleared one way or the other. And this is part of the reason why that I think the NBA is going to have to be extremely careful with this going forward. And you are absolutely right, Rich. The NBA at some point is going to have to explain why Terry Rozier was allowed to keep playing.
So that right there is in the video. I want to say
Yeah, bro, NBA, I feel like there's a lot of players out here doing that. I think we're going to see a lot more cases being brought up with players with the gambling, bro, because a lot of them have gambling addictions. A lot of them are probably greedy, and a lot of them are definitely in this, bro. Because you can just tell. I feel like already there's some players in the league that doesn't care as much. They got into the league and they just like whatever. So I would not be surprised if we see more.